1977, George Lucas formed a legacy.
The Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
Inspired by mythology, his saga has become a passion for many.
Feel the Force around you.
His legend has become our story.
It's true. All are.
One of resistance.
We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
Rebellion.
Rebellion is built on hope.
And redemption.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is Star Wars Reactions.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Star Wars Reactions. I am Aaron Harris. I'm one of your hosts, and this is a special episode. This is episode 48, but it's a special episode. I am by myself this week. David is on vacation with his family, and I am flying solo. I'm solo. Anywho, had a great week. Went to Central Florida Comic-Con this weekend. Had a lot of fun with some friends of mine at the con, first convention post-pandemic. So I was excited to be there. A lot of great things happened. Got to do some interviews with my friends as we discussed and reviewed Battle Scars, the latest episode of The Bad Batch, as well as with some of the convention goers. Unfortunately, some of my interviews did not turn out the way I wanted to audio-wise, but we will share the ones that are better, that did come out a little bit better, so you can enjoy that. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, we're here at Central Florida Comic-Con, and we are with the Outer Rim Guilds. And go ahead, tell me your name, sir.
Hi, my name is Kevin Daniels. I'm the local director for the Outer Rim Guilds. We're a Lucasfilm recognized costume group that does performances with lightsabers and other stage combat techniques.
Very cool, very cool. And I see you got great setup here, lots of lightsabers. So tell me a little bit more about the organization. What kind of skills you teach? What kind of focus you look at when it comes to costuming and stuff?
For us, what we do, we started off doing just lightsaber combat, and then we started noticing while watching stuff like The Mandalorian and other shows that Lucasfilm is bringing in more forms of combat with spears, axes, knives. So we had to open up our costume base, and we said, you know what, we're just going to focus on the Outer Rim, like the entire thing where you have bounty hunters, pilots, smugglers. You know, these guys, they have different ways of fighting. The only thing we can't simulate really well right now is blaster fire. And so you can't get that, like I'm deflecting blaster bolts with my lightsaber. So we try and keep things where it's hand-to-hand combat or melee combat, weapon on weapon. And we allow custom characters. So not only do you have your Sith and your Jedi, but we have custom bounty hunters. And one of the costume standards we're working on right now is what we call the Imperial Era Jedi. And that's, you're looking at your Luke Skywalkers, your Kanan Jarrus, Kyle Kestis. You know, these are Jedi in hiding during the Imperial Era, but they're still doing what Jedis do. We're out there defending and everything. So we're opening it up more so that we have more flexibility. So when we come and do a show, we can bring more characters to the show as well.
Well, that's awesome. And I see you are all nicely dressed up in as a Jedi, and I see you got a Sith Lord over there. So it'll definitely cover everything. And if somebody wanted to get some more information about the Outer Rim Guild, how would they go about doing that?
Well, our Facebook page, we are the Outer Rim Guilds, and also on the web, we're www.outerrimguilds.org, which is funny because Outer Rim Guilds is basically org.org, but it's spelled out, outerrimguilds.org, and you can find us on there and just send us a message, and you can come. We hold meetings probably twice a month, depending on schedules and conventions. Like the last 3 weeks, we've been doing nothing but conventions all weekends long. But we also answer questions, and if we have to, we can do things over the internet, like a Zoom meeting, and bring people together and talk to them. We take a look at costumes, and we try and point people in the right direction and help them build a costume, and then we train. Like I said, roughly twice a month. Yeah.
Cool. And just out of curiosity, how long have you been doing this lightsaber training and being with the Outer Rim Guild?
Well, technically with the Outer Rim Guild, it's probably about 6 months, but in total time, I've been doing stage combat for 35 years. I've had the great pleasure of teaching at American Stage, St. Pete College, Eckerd College, Studio at 62. I was the director of the Bay Area Renaissance Festival's Human Combat Chess Match for many years in Largo and the first 5 years in Tampa. The Lady of the Lake Renaissance Festival, John Levesque Pirate Days. I mean, the list goes on and on, the shows we've done. And so every show we do, we find like, oh, hey, wait, we could do that better. Or we look at somebody else's stuff, we're like, oh, we can do that. We can improve on that. So it's always a building process. So even at 35 years, and that's also with martial arts and police training. I'm an SRO, so I work in the school system, and I apply all of that to our performances, and then I take performance stuff and apply it to work. It goes both ways.
Very cool, very cool. Well, thank you for your time, and if you're interested, we'll have the links in our show notes. Thank you. There we go. All right, we're back still at the Central Florida Comic-Con. I am here with a whole bunch of friends, and we're going to just talk about the con and talk about the Bad Batch. So going nice little circle here. To my left, I have my friend Tyler, my little man Josiah. Give me a thumbs up, Josiah. Nobody can see you, just you. There you go. Trevor and my pal Richard, and we are having fun. And standing off to the side is somebody giving me the cut thing, so he doesn't want to be mentioned, so I won't say anything. We'll just poke him. Stretch it. There we go. So, all right. So, Central Florida Comic-Con, this is the third year they've done it. It was supposed to be held back in January. It's June. Lord, we're in June, not July. Where's the time going? But holding it in June got pushed back because of the pandemic. Been a lot of fun, so let's hear about it. We'll start with Tyler to my left. Tell me about what your thoughts on the con today is.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of people here. From what I didn't get to come last year, but from what I understand, there's a lot more people here. A little bit less of the vendors, but a lot more people here. Great costumes for cosplay. Of course, the 501st is here, and they all look great as usual. But yeah, there's some good stuff, man. I enjoy it. A lot of merch and collectibles and vintage items to choose from. So it's good stuff. Yeah, I enjoy it, and it's getting a little crowded here, walking around, a little more tight than it was at 10 o'clock when it opened. People are starting to funnel in, especially the cosplayers, because they have a contest at 4 o'clock. So, but it's good, man. I enjoy it.
Very good, very good. Yeah, it is starting to fill up with a whole bunch of cosplayers with the cosplay contest coming up here in a couple hours. So, Josiah, have this your first time at this convention, right? Have you liked it? Come here. What's been your favorite part of the convention so far?
Meeting the Mandalorian.
Meeting the Mandalorian, yes. The 501st has a great cosplayer, and dressed up as Mando. They had some cool stuff over at that 501st booth, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Shaking his head yes, so you can't see him, but he's there. How old are you, Josiah, just so everybody knows?
8.
8 years old, right there, buddy. You're the youngest guest I've ever had on my show. Well, we should get him an award. Youngest guest. Trevor, how about you, buddy? How's the convention for you so far?
It's been good so far. My first year being here, and I feel like there's been a really good variety of stuff. Been able to purchase a couple pops to add to the collection, a couple comic books for the office, and if you're looking for anything from comics to vintage stuff to even custom stuff that people are doing as well, it's all here. Lots of cool cosplayers, animes, Star Wars, whatever you like, you name it. There's even the mayor from Jaws was here as well, so that was pretty neat. But yeah, it's been a cool experience so far. I've enjoyed it.
We need to follow him around with a tape recorder, just playing the Jaws theme next time. That's what you need. For the record, it was one of their friends that was dressed up, and it looked just like the mayor from Jaws. So, Richard, how about the con?
I've enjoyed it. This is my first time coming to it. It's been great with spending time with friends, and we got to meet some really cool people. Those people from the Outer Rim, which is a new set of Star Wars group. I know you guys got to see them too. They were very, very interesting. I know you got an interview with one of the guys for later, and I know he was talking about how Lucasfilm is starting to incorporate more different sword fighting techniques and styles. He himself was a master of the Renaissance sword fighting techniques, and that they've been in close communication with Lucasfilm on how they're progressing their new techniques for different lightsaber combat skills and stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And there's been some guys here. They build droids and they have done amazing work and job. I think the 3D printer now, as they were saying, that's becoming a big change. Yeah, big change into how they're actually constructing those things. So I was super excited to see a lot of talent here and a lot of really cool offerings, and it's just been really great to have conversations with people on the subjects that you really like and love anyway. So I've enjoyed it, particularly being here with my friend Aaron.
Yes, it has been fun. This is the third year of the convention. I've been here all 3 years and have enjoyed it, and we have. It's nice to see it grow from the first year. It's grown quite a bit. So it's been quite fun. They've done a great job putting it on. And from what I understand, haven't gotten 100% confirmation, but it sounds like they're planning again to have it back next year, but this time moving it back up to the original dates in January. So 6 months from now. We could be doing this again. So that'd be nice. I'd be looking forward to that. Yes, they do still have their mask requirements, so everybody is wearing masks, except for right now when we're sitting around in a circle on the floor on the roughest carpet ever made, discussing Star Wars. So it's definitely not AstroTurf. So, but let's talk a little bit about the Bad Batch too, because the 6th episode was released this past Friday. It was Battle Scars, I believe was the name of that. That was written by Jennifer Corbett and directed by Saul Ruiz, I believe, if I remember correctly. My phone will unlock. Yep, I was right. So, great. To me, I thought this was a great episode. This was one we were waiting for. It was to basically summarize what was going on. A surprise guest crashed Sid's cantina where the Bad Batch had just gotten back from a mission, and it ended up being the famous. Well, yes, it's spoilers for those of you who haven't. By now, if you've not know our podcast, we are spoiling it for you if you have not watched it. So, watch first, then listen. But they are surprised by an old friend of theirs, a certain clone captain in blue armor, who's friends with Anakin and Ahsoka. That's right, folks. Rex is back, and he ends up taking them on a mission to remove their inhibitor chips. Wrecker's head injuries come into play as his chip kicks in and takes over, and it makes for a wild and crazy ride. So let's get everybody's thoughts. Tyler, when you first watched the episode, what did you think?
Well, like Aaron said, initially I knew we were due for Rex to show up. I mean, you saw from the trailers, you knew he was going to be coming soon, and it was a perfect episode for it. And so I was very pleased to see that. But he was very concerned. You can tell there was something something going on, especially when they started talking about the inhibitor chips. And so, I thought it was very cool. And then also, the past few episodes with the headaches Wrecker had been having, that was due. Something was bound to happen sooner or later, and it was the perfect episode for it. And, I thought it played well. Wrecker being the strongest of them, very hard to defeat once that inhibitor chip kicked in. But it was good. I really enjoyed it. It was very pleasing. It's just continues. The series continues to me to get better and better. Each episode, like it should. And as we're learning, I'm just keep learning more and more about them, and and the quests that they have, and now that everything's involved with Sid, the missions that they have, it's almost like a mercenary feel that you get from it. And so I enjoy it. It was a great episode, I thought, and sets up a lot for what's going to be happening here in the future. Hopefully a little more Rex, right?
Yeah, we definitely hope there's more Rex here in the future. What were your thoughts about it when you first saw it?
Well, I really enjoyed it myself. I thought that I really like reading into things, and I know the one part where they're going on to the ship and they're getting ready to go remove the inhibitor chips, and Rex seemed to make a comment of, very few clones could resist the chip, which means to me then he's been looking for others already. And so obviously there's some clones who were able to resist the chip. He's been trying to get them together. You and I had talked a little bit about, Aaron and I had talked a little bit about earlier, how does he get with, the other two guys, Wolf and Gregor, which, we never really got to finish that story in Clone Wars with Gregor. So I'm really wondering how that's going to play out, if that plays out at all. Wondering... I've seen on the Disney, I don't know if you guys have seen like the Disney promotional commercials, and they continually show Commander Cody. So I'm wondering if he's going to show up later, and if they're going to address that. That'll be really cool. But really neat how they were discussing how the inhibitor chips. I like the part when he found out they didn't have the inhibitor chips, and he started reaching for his gun kind of thing, and they were like, "Oh, Rex, calm down, it's okay, we're clear." But still, how much and what we never got to see in the final episode with in Clone Wars when he and Ahsoka escaped the ship, how much remorse he has for having to, go against his own brothers because that chip had forced them to try to kill him. So it was neat. I really liked the episode. It had a lot of cool things that can play into later storylines and whatnot, and has a very big potential to create more storylines, which I think is going to be awesome. So.
Very good, very good. I would ask Trevor, but I know he has not seen it yet. But you can give us your overall thoughts on Bad Batch, so that you've seen what you've seen up to and what you've thought so far. Yeah.
No, I definitely have enjoyed what I have watched. I'm through episode 3, so I'm a little bit back. When life gets busy, and there's many shows out there to watch, especially with Disney Plus. And Disney just coming out with so many different things. But so far, I've enjoyed it. It started out, to me, with the first episode. There was a lot in that first episode, and then it kind of started to slow down a little bit. But as you guys have talked about, it's gotten better and better as the episodes go on. And I can definitely tell that through the first 3 as well. So looking forward to watching the rest, getting caught up, and then seeing what else they throw into the mix. There's so much more that they could do, and I think there's many different ways they can go, and people that could show up, different characters from different aspects of Star Wars. So looking forward to it, and see what else they have in store for us, and many other things that Disney has coming out.
Excellent, very well. Josiah, I know you saw it, buddy. What did you think of the new Bad Batch episode? It was good? You liked it? What did you think of Captain Rex showing back up?
He is my favorite clone, so very happy.
His favorite clone, so he's very happy. Very happy. That's awesome. I know he's my favorite clone too. I was very, very happy when Rex showed up. And I was a little surprised it happened this early in the series. It's supposed to have 16 episodes. We're 6 episodes in, and Rex shows up, which is cool because I kind of figured from the beginning he would be involved somehow in the removal of their chips. So that part didn't surprise me. And Wrecker going ballistic on them because of his chips didn't surprise me. And I'll give credit to David. He called this from day one. My co-host, he's called that from day one, said those headaches are going to come into play, and they did. And it made for a very interesting episode. I like the fact that everything in it was felt more like Clone Wars at that point with Rex and with the clones, and they were in the old Jedi cruiser, and it just was a lot of fun. Definitely brought back some memories, and you wonder what kind of effect that's going to have on them going forward. Wrecker, all of them finally getting there. Well, we know Wrecker got his chips out. Oh, look, Cad Bane. We're sitting here, and Cad Bane walks in. Yeah, he's lost his hat, but still Cad. But anywho, you never know what's going to happen at a con. That's why I love these places. So it was fun to see the events that occurred on this junk planet where all these ships were crashed and destroyed. I guess almost like a junkyard that was run by the Salvage Guild, Scrappers Guild. Thank you on that. And that was fun to see those guys show up. What about the Dianoga attack, man? That was a Dianoga that was trying to get Wrecker, and of course, that caught me off guard. I was pretty surprised. Very reminiscent of A New Hope when he grabbed Luke. This time he grabbed Wrecker.
Did you guys see the Hammerhead ship in the graveyard? There was one of the Hammerhead cruisers in the graveyard. Did you guys see that?
Yes. Yeah, the one the Hammerhead. Yeah, it was. You just kind of see its head peeking up.
The head sticking up so that you could just notice that it was a Hammerhead.
Yeah. Yeah,
there were just a lot of random ships that they threw in that you would know still from the the mythology of Star Wars and whatnot, but there were it was really cool how they threw all these different art animations in and broke the things up. But it was really cool. So yeah, that way you got more of for me it was more of a scale of going, oh well, these are antiquated ships because here to this Hammerhead ship is in the graveyard. It looks still kind of new for us when we finally see it in Rogue One, but now you get the idea. No, they probably could have used that from a scrapyard and just cleaned her up a little bit. So yeah, a lot of the Rebel ships you saw, like that the Rebels used later, were in that graveyard, which was kind of cool. So I thought it was a good throwback.
I thought that was good eye too. What'd you think of Rex's ship? He was flying a Y-wing. Painted blue like his armor.
I thought that was awesome, just to see that, and man, that was cool. I really enjoyed seeing that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to see. Wrecker's flip, as his chip took over and the fight ensued. Was probably the most dramatic we've seen so far in the series, barring Order 66 and Episode 1 with a young Padawan Caleb Doom, Kanan Jarrus. So what were your thoughts when Wrecker finally flipped and went bonkers?
So one of my big questions, which they sort of answered later, but it kind of was throwing me off, was like, is he going to remember all this? And like at first you thought, because when again, you should watch the episode before listening to this podcast, but when he finally did wake up, you thought, well, okay, maybe he didn't, because he was acting all nice with everybody, but then he goes and apologizes to the little girl, like he's like, I'm really, really sorry, Omega, that. So they do remember what happens under the inhibitor chip. So it really makes you start to get to think, how many of these clones are really, like, how much is it suppressing them from doing what they really want to do to the point? Because, like, I mean, the Empire still has control over all these clones, and unlike a flip of a switch had basically happened. So how much of it is of themselves is being lost in all of this? You know, you start to think about some of the psychological effects on that.
I was going to say, he mentions that I try to fight it as much as I could. So, you know, like you said, how much does this really suppress these other clones, you know? Are they really fighting against this? Are they like Wrecker was, you know?
It's horrible. I mean, you're trapped in your own body, not wanting to implement what's being told you to, you know, what you're being told to do. And think about it. They've been fighting droids all this time. Now, basically, that's all they've become with these inhibitor chips in their heads. Makes you also wonder how that's going to play into, like, I always had a theory that there is something that the Empire is doing to keep the stormtroopers under control. Now, we know that they get away from being clones and stuff like that, but, you know, do you wonder, like in World War II, where they were, you know, feeding more, they were putting stuff in the water to try to help keep everybody in line with the rest of the Nazi party. I wonder, you know, if they're going to do something like that with the clone stormtroopers, you know. Not that it really worked in World War II, but I mean, I'm just saying, you know, it's science fiction. You know, it'll probably really work, whatever they're trying to do. Will these chips be something that we'll see later also being implemented in the regular Stormtrooper Corps, which may make them really bad shots? I'm just saying. So.
Well, we're finally getting an explanation of why they can't hit the broadside of a barn. Yeah. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. All right. Cool. So,
I was just gonna add something really quick to what you said about Wrecker kind of flipping the switch when he was after he had knocked all the other rest of the Clone Force 99 out, and he was just going after Omega. For a second there, I thought, as he's about to shoot her, I thought maybe that the switch would flip. But that just goes to show how powerful the inhibitor chips really are. You know, of course, Rex came in and saved the day and stunned them, so they can remove it. But I thought for a second there, you know, they've grown this bond, Wrecker and Omega have, and I thought maybe the switch will flip, but of course we know it didn't. So
he plays the big brother role, I think, in the whole thing towards Omega. You know, of course, Hunter's the father figure kind of thing for the group, but he's more like, you know, the guy who jokes around and kids around with the little kid, and he's like a big protectorate brother for her, which, and they really did a really good job, I thought, at the very beginning, showing that childlike kinship that he has with her when they would run out to grab the popcorn or whatever it is, which I'm pretty sure Disney's going to start marketing at some point in one of their little stands, you know. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It will. Martell mix. I could see that. It'd be like the popcorn. Yeah. Do they? Martell. Ah. Oh, of course they will.
If not, you know, an exec at Disney. My address is... No, I'm just kidding.
Give credit for that. You give credit where credit's due. Richard's Martell mix. So, I think we all have ideas we'd love to share. Exactly. So we know Wrecker got his chip removed. Then, of course, Rex left while he was recovering. And we know the other... And we had, as they're leaving, of course, the Empire is being notified because somebody from the Scrappers Guild saw them and told them is warning the Empire that they have intruders. So the curious thing is, we haven't seen the other three get their chips out yet. So, do you think we will have time? They will have time before the Empire shows up.
Didn't I think Tech got his, right? tech got his out. I remember seeing he had a bandage on his head, right? I think I remember that. I don't recall seeing Hunter, though, or Echo having theirs removed. I mean, I'm sure they will, but are they going to, like you said, are they going to have time? I don't know. Depends on how quickly the Empire gets there and if they're going to be, who they're going to be sending. They're going to send Crosshair after him and his newly acquired elite stormtroopers, or, you know.
Oh yeah, there's always something to expect. You know, if I got a feeling it would be Crosshair, because that's going to be his role in the play, and it's going to be something that I could see Tarkin playing as a manipulative factor of, you know, turning him against his comrades, his brothers. So yeah, definitely, it was interesting. So real quick, before we wrap everything up, we on the show, we always grade the episode, just like if you were in school, A, B, C, D, or F, and just to give our overall thoughts on the episode. Final thoughts on Battle Scars and grading the episode. For me, I thought this was just a fantastic episode. It normally in the past, episodes have bothered me when they haven't continued the Crosshair story. This one was so smooth and so good. It didn't faze me at all this week. I thought it was a fantastic episode. I loved seeing Rex again. I'm glad we finally are seeing the inhibitor chips taken care of. And it was good to be on board a Jedi cruiser again, I gotta say. And overall, I would grade this one as an A for me. This was a lot better than the past weeks for me. Tyler, how would you grade the episode?
Yeah, I'm on board with you too. The Crosshair thing has kind of bothered me a little bit too. Just kind of like the unfinished part of that story. I know it's to come, but you know, hopefully. But it's kind of bothered me a little bit as well. But yeah, this week was very satisfying. You know, it was very satisfying to see Rex again. Satisfying to finally get the inhibitor chips. You know, we knew Wrecker was bound to go ballistic at some point, so it was nice. It was a perfect setup for this week for that. So I think I'd give it an A as well, Aaron. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good, visually awesome. You know, seeing all the ships and everything like that. You know, like you said, I'm gonna have to go back and check those out and see which ones we missed. But yeah, it was very, very cool. I enjoyed it, and yeah, definitely an A from me as well.
Excellent. Richard, how would you grade it, my friend?
Well, you know, there's been a lot of different Star Wars coming out at us lately that has lacked continuity and cohesion. One thing that I've really enjoyed about the Bad Batch, you know, Crosshair's a pivotal part of being the best. I mean, you can't really make a better enemy out of a friend. You know what I mean? In that sense that you have that emotional connection with that person and whatnot. So I really hope that they don't do like what they've done in previous Star Wars where, wow, you killed Darth Maul off in like the first thing, but we bring him back. But, you know, but I'm just saying, but they kill, you know, you never really got a chance to see how menacing that character could actually be in the films. Now, we got later in the Clone Wars, but not in the films themselves. And Dooku, you just never, at least for me personally, I just never really got a good connection with that villain either. With this one, you've got a really well-established, I just hope they don't drop that arc too quickly to where they lose the element of such a great conflict, an emotional conflict, because he was part of their family. And there's a lot going on there. And I know you had talked to me a little bit about your theories on how he's starting to show signs of, what am I doing this for? Why am I being this way? Because he doesn't know about the chips like the others do. So it's good. As far as the episode itself, I really I got to grade it high for, you know, it definitely maintaining continuity and trying to keep a good cohesive story. But I don't want to give it an A just yet, because I'm holding an A for really what will be the overall episode. So I'm going to give it a good solid B for now, simply because, you know, I want to see what else is to come. Filoni has always been really good, though, about keeping a continuity world when he creates things. So, J.J. Abrams, take note. All right, just Just mentioning to you, buddy, you need to take notes on keeping a continuity world. Look, you make more money, but I'm just saying. All right, here we go.
Shots fired, man. Shots fired. Oh, my. All right. Oh, Lord. What? Yeah, well, that's a topic for another day. That's another podcast, some other time in some other place. We could do a whole month's worth of episodes on that. So, Josiah, how would you grade the episode if you had to give it a grade? He'd give it an A+ from the mouth of babes. A+ for Josiah. Awesome. So, next, yeah, I'll have him grade all my schoolwork. He graded all my schoolwork. So, awesome job. Awesome job. All right, well, thanks, guys, for joining us for this quick review. Let's get back to the con and have some more fun. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. That wraps everything up for this episode of Star Wars Reactions. Let us know what you thought of our coverage of Central Florida Comic-Con. Let us know what you thought of Battle Scars. You can always hit us up on social media. Facebook and Instagram are both SW Reactions. Twitter, SW Reactions Pod for Twitter, or email us, show@StarWarsReactions. You can always hit me up personally on social media at TAHarris121079 on Twitter. It's the best place. You can email me, Aaron at Star Wars Reactions. Of course, you can always, if you miss David, you can always let him know you missed him. You can always hit him up on Twitter, David_Modders that's on Twitter, or email him, David at StarWarsReactions.com. And he will be back next week. We are going to have a great episode then as well. Looking forward to that. I want to thank everybody who joined me, Tyler, Josiah, Trevor, Richard, and of course the Outer Rim Club as well. They all who took time to talk to me, Daniel. We appreciate them. We thank each and every one of you for tuning in each week. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are great. Remember, this is your place for elegant discussions for a more civilized age.
If you'd like to share your thoughts, you can email us at show@starwarsreactions.com for our show notes and the latest news from the Star Wars universe. Visit our website at www.starwarsreactions.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWReactionsPod or on Facebook at Star Wars Reactions. If you enjoy our show, please leave a review on iTunes. This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or by Lucasfilm Limited. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars. All names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and the respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Star Wars Reactions unless otherwise indicated. Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age.